For this is Chroma, an ancient legend master of the elements. When all land is ruins, Tenno, only Chroma will remain. What's happening, guys and girls? Today we are going to continue our A to Z of Warframes, and we are kicking it off with Chroma. Chroma and Chroma Prime. Chroma coming in with 100 health, 300 at max rank, 100 shield, 300 at max rank, 350 armor, 150 energy, 225 at max rank, and a sprint speed of 1.0. Polarities of a dash and a V. Dash and a Y. Exilus polarity is not formed, and his built-in aura polarity is a Y. You can farm Chroma by completing the quest The New Strange. And the components will be awarded by completing junctions. The new optics will be awarded after completing the Uranus junction, the chassis after the Neptune junction, and the systems after the Pluto junction. Chroma Prime, however, is Mastery rank 6 locked. He's coming in with 100 health, 300 at max rank, 100 shield, 300 at max rank, 425 armor, 200 energy, 300 at max rank, a sprint speed still of 1.0, polarities of a dash, D, Y, and another dash. Exilus polarity is unformed, and his aura is coming in at a Y as well. The main differences between Chroma Prime compared to Chroma is the higher energy, higher armor, 425 versus 350, higher energy, 200 versus 150, max rank 300 versus 225, and of course the different polarities. Keep in mind the mastery rank requirement for Chroma Prime is also MR6. Chroma's first ability is Spectral Scream. Exhale a deep breath of elemental destruction. Chroma's energy colour determines the element. This brings us online with his passive as well. So Chroma can alter his abilities to match his outward appearance. So if you change his colour to red, brown, orange, bright yellow, it will act as heat. Blue, purple will be electric. Green, dark yellow will be toxin. White, grey, black, or some of the faded colours will be ice, so cold damage. Chroma's second ability is Elemental Ward. Depending on Chroma's elemental alignment, an offensive area of effect is created. Chroma and his nearby allies are imbued with defensive energy. Now, depending on whether you take heat, electric, toxin, or cold, will alter the outward effect of this particular ability. So, if you take heat, it will generate a flame aura around him. Electric, obviously, will generate an electric aura, toxin and cold to boot. But they also give slightly different bonuses that we'll get into in a little bit. Chroma's third ability is Vex Armor. When his shields are hit, Chroma's armors grow stronger. When his health takes a hit, his weapon damage increases for a limited time as well. In my opinion, his second and his third ability is what makes Chroma so special and what makes him so good in the orb fights, in the Eidolons, and all of that type of stuff, really adding the benefit to his whole team as well as himself with his weapon damage. Chroma's fourth ability is Effigy. He's a burning effigy of everything he used to be. Chroma sheds his armor and turns it into a massive sentry that will deal elemental damage and strengthen nearby enemies. You get a slight speed boost, however, it does really impact your armor. Sorry about that, bloody phones. Anyway, so Chroma's first ability, as we've already covered, is Spectral Scream. Chroma unleashes a continuous stream of elemental energy in a cone of up to 10 meters long that inflicts up to 200 damage. Now, depending on what your energy color is depending on whether it's going to be heat damage, electric, toxin, or cold, with a 60% status chance at max rank. Damage per second is affected by ability strength, while status chance is not. Damage can bypass obstacles in the environment, and it does not decrease with distance. So it doesn't matter how close the target is to you, they are still going to take the same amount of damage as long as they're in that cone length. Cone length is affected by ability range, and at max rank, With a max rank narrow-minded, the range would be reduced to 6.97 metres, while a maxed out overextended would increase it to about 12.38 metres. Spectral Scream's damage can be boosted by the Fury aspect of Vex Armour, which is the third ability and really, really handy to know. Now, a few tips and tricks about this. Predominantly, I use it as crowd control if I've got max standing up. It can be used to resist any type of knockdowns through mowers, death orbs, or corpus laser doors, and you can actually damage enemies while in Limbo's Rift. Always worth knowing. Chroma's second ability, Elemental Ward. Depending on Chroma's elemental alignment, an offensive aura is created. Chroma and his nearby allies are imbued with defensive energy. So, really, really cool ability. One of his most used. Chroma emits an aura that infuses himself and nearby allies with elemental energy as long as they remain within up to 12 metres of him, providing both offensive and defensive buffs. The aura lasts between 10 to 25 seconds, and you can increase that with more duration, as well as the radius with more ability range. Now, depending on what energy colour you're using with Chroma, if you are using red for heat, you are going to generate a flame aura around Chroma and effective allies that increases your base health of up to 200% and inflicts 100 heat damage per second. If you're using electric, it's going to infuse Chroma and his allies with increase of shields of up to 100% and an arc damage of electric as well. If you use toxin, like a green type of colour, you are going to emit a toxin aura that damages enemies and increases reload speed and holster rate for your enemies up to 35%. And if you're using cold, you are going to encase Chroma in layers of frost as well as your allies, and increase everyone's base armour of up to 150% and create an ice shield that reflects incoming fire back to the source. So keep in mind, all of the bonuses are affected by ability strength. So the more ability strength you put into Chroma, the more those values will increase. And it's really depending on what you're doing, who's in your team, and what your personal playstyle is, if you want to go for heat, electric, toxin or cold. Elemental auras do not stack, it is worth mentioning. So if you've got 4 different Chromas running 4 different colours, only one aura is activated. An elemental ward cannot be recast while active. So you have got to wait for that to run out until you reactivate it, which is especially worth knowing if you are using it for health or shields. In a pinch, the bonus health provided by the ward can be used as a very quick heal, as the health granted is automatically added to your remaining health and is not reduced from your remaining health when it wears off. So if you have actually got negative efficiency, negative duration, you can use it as a really quick heal. However, I wouldn't recommend negative duration with Chroma. Chroma's third ability is Vex Armour. Chroma enters a state of primal rage, gaining Scorn when shields are hit and Fury when health is damaged. Scorn can increase Chroma's armour up to 350% at base rank, with Fury increasing Chroma's weapon bonus up to 275% damage. Scorn and Fury are directly affected by ability strength. So the more ability strength you put into them, the more bonus you can get from that as well. Scorn and Fury stack with the Warframe's armor and weapons damage mods respectively. So they take into account all of the damage already on your weapon and give you an extra 275% at base. So it's so, in my opinion, this is really what makes Chroma so viable in the Eidolon hunts, in orb fights, and basically in all-round gameplay. His second and third ability are absolutely huge. You can self-damage yourself as well to get your stacks up much quicker. So to get your Scorn up a lot quicker, you can use things like the Kastanas, the Ogress, the Stug, and basically anything that will self-damage you but not kill you immediately. Equipping a Decaying Dragon Key as well can lower your shields to make the health loss a little bit easier and a little bit quicker. And definitely something to keep in mind if you need to get that damage up very, very quickly. Chroma's fourth ability is Effigy. Chroma turns his pelt into a massive sentry that strengthens nearby allies and engulf enemies in elemental attacks. Now, this can be used as a bit of a crowd control, either choke point, or if you do drop the fourth down, the sentry normally unleashes a roar fairly quickly after deploying, and this allows you to stun all the enemies nearby. The pelt can be banished, so you won't actually take any. It won't actually take any damage while still being able to do damage to all enemies, and it gains shields from Osprey Xmas. Now it will go into a stationary position, and it will have up to 8,000 health. It will attack all enemies within 20 meters with whatever type of damage that you're using as an energy cutler. However, I tend not to use this too much, as I'm not a massive fan of losing 50% of my armor. Although the speed bump is quite nice. I feel like the armor, I don't know. I played Chroma for a tank, so I'm not a massive fan of this ability. However, I would definitely recommend trying it out for a few things like that, and especially if you've got a Limbo in the team who can banish it, makes it quite a bit of fun. The one really interesting bit about this though is the sentry increases all picked up credits by 100%. The range is 10 meters and is not affected by range mods. So if you're desperate for some credits, use this sentry. Right guys, let's have a look at the build. So this is the build that I was running in the footage before. Growing Power, Power Drift, Constitution, Narrow-Minded, Vitality, Steel Fiber, Streamline, Blind Rage, Prime Continuity, and Transient Fortitude. As you can see, this is a 3-former build, and I am an incredibly selfish Chroma. The buff is mine. Get your own buff. So I'm running 269% power strength, 254% duration, negative efficiency to 75. To combat that during normal hunts, I use Zenoric, normal missions, I use Zenoric. Range is 34%. This is my Eidolon hunting build, where we're basically type of using the same thing. We're putting Augur Secrets in there as well instead of Streamline for a little bit less efficiency and a little bit more power strength. However, we are swapping out Growing Power for Deadeye. And in my opinion, this is really, really key for Eidolon hunts, whether you're using the Lanka, the Rubico, whatever. Ideally, you should be using a sniper, and that's going to help your team out as well. So we are using pretty much the same: Deadeye, Power Drift, Augur Secrets, Narrow-Minded, Umbra Fiber, or Fiber, it doesn't really matter, Vitality, Constitution, Prime Continuity, Blind Rage, and Transient Fortitude, with a couple of nullifiers on there. So that is it for my builds. However, I am going to show you a few of the community builds and have a play around with them, and hope you guys enjoy Chroma. So right guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. We've got a few community builds coming up now on screen from some guys in the stream. So feel free to have a play around with any of these builds. But I hope you've got a much better understanding now on how Chroma works and how you want to build him. Guys, if you have enjoyed the video, if it's helped you in any way, please don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button. Turn them notifications on. We've got loads of stuff coming up. We've got some more Mastery Rank series. We've got miles more of the A to Z to come, as well as dev stream recaps and reactions, plus some other game reviews coming up fairly soon as well. So do not forget to hit that subscribe button and turn them notifications on. Guys, if you want to talk to me in person, you can find me over at my Twitch page, which is www.twitch.tv/Shanksy, and we're over there pretty much 7 days a week. Guys, if you've got any questions or any recommendations for builds that you enjoy running on Chroma, leave them down below so we can all have a little play around with them as well. Guys, that is going to be it for me today. Hope to see you over at Twitch, and if not, I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy. Peace!